You ever wonder why you keep scrolling when you said you'd stop? Or why you exploded in traffic even though you promised to stay calm? That wasn't your rational mind at the wheel. That was your inner reptile. Yes, the same part of your brain that hasn't evolved much in over 500 million years. It doesn't care about your goals. It doesn't care about your productivity system or morning routine. It just wants to survive, dominate, avoid pain, and repeat what's familiar. Your brain is like a time machine made of meat. It's built in layers, and the oldest layer, the one at the base of your skull, is often called the reptilian brain. And it's called that for a reason. It hasn't changed much since the days of lizards and dinosaurs. This ancient region includes the brainstem and the basal ganglia. It's responsible for core survival functions like heart rate, breathing, hunger, and reproduction, but also for aggression, dominance, territorial behavior, and habits. Basically, it's the software that keeps you alive and repeating behaviors that worked before, no matter how outdated they are today. On top of that reptilian layer sits the limbic system, the emotional brain, and above that is the neocortex, the logical, reasoning, self-aware you. But when you're under pressure, overwhelmed, anxious, or tired, your brain often defaults to its oldest programming, the lizard at the bottom. That's why you snap at your partner. That's why you ghost your gym session and eat chips instead. The reptile brain doesn't care about long-term goals. It only reacts. It acts fast, crude, and instinctive. And the worst part? You don't even realize it's happening. The lizard moves fast, faster than thought. It's efficient, automatic, and invisible. It's why you find yourself checking your phone when you meant to focus, or binging a show when you plan to sleep. It's not weakness, it's wiring. If you want to change your habits, you first need to understand who or what you're actually up against, because you can't outsmart something you're not aware of. And awareness is where power begins. Most of your daily life is on autopilot, and the reptile is flying the plane. We like to think we're logical creatures making decisions based on goals and values, but the reality? Your ancient instincts are calling a lot of the shots. Take procrastination. You know finishing the task will benefit you, but your reptilian brain only sees discomfort, effort, potential failure. So it says, nah, same with healthy habits. You plan to work out, but your reptile sees energy loss and risk. It says, let's stay safe and lie down. This system evolved to protect you in the wild. It kept your ancestors alive by favoring routines, avoiding pain, and responding instantly to threats. But in modern life, it turns molehills into mountains. Suddenly, your brain treats a tough email like a tiger attack, or sees rejection on social media as a threat to your survival. Ever get stuck doom scrolling? That's your reptile seeking stimulation and novelty to ward off boredom, a potential signal of danger in the wild. Or overeating when stressed. That's your lizard stockpiling fuel just in case. The reptilian brain is also obsessed with dominance and territory. That's why online arguments get heated so fast. Why we obsess over likes, followers, and status. It's ancient programming running on modern tech, and it doesn't always end well. Even addiction is part of the takeover. The reptile doesn't distinguish between real dopamine and artificial rewards. It just wants more. Scrolls, snacks, substances, attention, it doesn't care as long as it feels good now. The more you indulge it, the stronger its grip. The neural pathways deepen. The habits solidify. And before you know it, your conscious mind becomes the passenger, not the driver. This is the quiet takeover. No sci-fi movie, no alien invasion, just your primal brain running loops while your rational self watches in frustration. This isn't a life sentence. The reptilian brain isn't evil, it's just fast, reactive, and deeply wired. Once you learn to spot its patterns, you can begin to override them. You can't delete your reptilian brain, but you can outmaneuver it. It's not about fighting instincts with willpower, it's about designing systems that bypass them. The first step is awareness. You've got to recognize when the lizard is in control. Is your heart racing before replying to an email? Are you reaching for snacks after one bad meeting? Those aren't just quirks, they're cues. Start naming the pattern. This is my reptile brain trying to avoid discomfort. Labeling it breaks the trance. You can't redirect a process you haven't noticed. Next is pattern interruption. Your reptile loves loops. Break them. Change your environment. If you always scroll in bed, plug your phone in across the room. If you binge at night, change what's visible in your kitchen. Even a 5-second pause can be a circuit breaker. Then comes mental rehearsal. Athletes visualize plays. You should too. Imagine the trigger, urge to quit, craving, anger, and mentally walk through a better response. Repetition wires in control. When the real moment comes, you're not just reacting, you're responding. Try conscious delay. When you feel the urge, snack, scroll, snap, just wait 10 minutes. You're not saying no, you're saying not yet. That small gap activates your prefrontal cortex, and often the urge fades. The lizard loses momentum. Now change your language. Say, I don't instead of I can't. I don't eat junk signals identity. I can't signals deprivation. Your brain listens and believes what you repeat. Also, reduce friction for good behaviors, increase it for bad ones. Pre-cut fruit, hide junk food, freeze your social apps after 9 p.m., make temptation hard, make momentum easy. And here's a surprising trick: rituals. Reptiles thrive on repetition, so train your brain using rituals that serve you. A consistent wind-down routine, a no-phone morning start. You're not just building habits, you're rewiring instincts. Outsmarting the lizard isn't about perfection, it's about being prepared, flexible, and relentless. Because your future self isn't built by willpower. It's built by systems that outwit your instincts day after day. You can't erase your reptile brain, but you can reshape how it responds. This is where neuroplasticity comes in. The brain's ability to rewire itself based on what you do repeatedly. Every time you choose the harder path, whether it's going to the gym, breathing instead of snapping, or getting up when the alarm rings, you're reinforcing a new pathway. That's not just a win, that's a rewire. And here's the key: repetition. Your brain doesn't care if you believe in change. It cares what you repeat. The more you act out a new behavior, the easier it becomes. Not because you're stronger, but because the root is familiar. That's why rituals matter. Tiny routines, like setting your clothes out the night before, journaling each morning, or putting your phone in a drawer, send a powerful signal. This is what we do now. Over time, these rituals shift from effort to identity, and identity is the deepest layer of change. When you say, I'm the kind of person who shows up, the brain listens, and it rewires around that belief. Also remember, the rule of environment beats willpower. If your space supports your new identity, your brain won't need to fight as hard. Make the good habits obvious. Make the bad ones invisible. Don't rely on motivation. That's short-term fuel. What lasts is structure, momentum, and emotional clarity, knowing why you're doing this when it gets tough. And when you slip, don't make it a story. One failure doesn't mean you're broken, it just means your old wiring flared up. Forgive fast, restart faster. Failing isn't the problem, quitting is. Because rewiring your brain isn't about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Small wins stacked over time build a brain that works with you, not against you. And when the reptile does show up, you won't panic, you'll lead. Here's what most people don't know. Your bad habits aren't because you're lazy, weak, or broken. They're because your brain is still running prehistoric software, and it's doing exactly what it was designed to do. Your reptile brain just wants to keep you safe, comfortable, and predictable. It's not evil, it's efficient. But if you let it run the show unchecked, it will quietly sabotage everything you care about. The good news? You're not stuck with that. Awareness is your first weapon. Strategy is your second. And consistency? That's how you win. Every time you choose a better action, even a tiny one, you're rewriting the script. You're showing your brain a new way to survive. Not by hiding, not by reacting, but by leading. And the more you lead, the less control your instincts have. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep showing up with intention. Let me know in the comments below if there's a specific topic you want me to cover in the next video. I'd love to hear your ideas. If you like this video and you want to know more ways to outsmart your habits, then smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications. See you in the next video.